welcome back to Low Income Relief. Today we've got a jam-packed update for you with all sorts of low-income news and resources from all around the country. As always, we're going to start off with those nationwide updates that impact the most people before zooming in on those local stories that often have the biggest impact. Now, I want you to stay tuned for that. But first, I want to talk to you about something crazy I learned this week. Did you know that there are over 24,000 Medicare plans nationwide? That's an insane number, and it really highlights why it's so hard to compare those benefits between plans. Some sources estimate that up to 90% of American seniors are on the wrong plan for their situation, and that can cost you more money, and it can be disastrous for your health. A lot of seniors have also found themselves blindsided lately by unexpected changes to their healthcare plans. Many Medicare Advantage plans have disappeared entirely from certain states, while others have made major cutbacks or changes, and that means that a lot of people are suddenly finding out that their doctors or their specialists are no longer in network, that essential medications aren't covered, that their benefits have been reduced, and so on. Now that's the bad news. The good news is that there's still time to get help with this, and we've discovered a new resource that makes it easier than ever to find the perfect Medicare plan for your situation, but you have to act fast. So here's the thing. You probably already know that the standard open enrollment period ended on December 7th. We talk about that a lot on this channel. But what you may not know is that the Medicare Advantage open enrollment period started on January 1st. So from now until the end of March, you still have the chance to make adjustments if you are on a Medicare Advantage plan. So during this time, you can switch to a new Advantage plan or even switch back to original Medicare if you need to. I know a lot of this can feel overwhelming because with 24,000 plans, Medicare is pretty incomprehensible to most of us. It's a lot to navigate. That's where our partner chapter comes in. Their licensed advisors work one-on-one with you to make sure that your plan fits your health needs and your budget. So whether you've been impacted by recent plan changes or you're just unsure if you're on the best possible plan, Chapter can help you. Their services are completely free. Visit lirlinks.com/chapter or call 417-319-2139 to get started today. Now, speaking of Medicare, the White House also announced recently that popular weight loss drugs Wegovy and Ozempic are among 15 medications selected for Medicare price negotiations. This could lead to significant savings for Medicare beneficiaries who are using those medications. Last year's round of negotiations resulted in discounts ranging from 38% to 79% off list prices, and that's all supposed to kick in next year. So if similar results are achieved this time, it could mean lower out-of-pocket costs for those on Medicare who use those medications. That's the end of our Medicare news for today. Let's see what else we've got. All right, tax season is upon us now too. And I don't want you to be tricked into paying to file your taxes. This is something that happens to a lot of people every year. There are free and low-cost services available to help. Even if you don't have to file your taxes, you may find that it's worth filing to claim the credits you may be eligible for. I've recently discovered some incredible tax credits that I think a lot of seniors miss out on, even though they're eligible. But again, I'm not an accountant, so I'm going to have to refer you to a tax professional for more information on how all of that works. And speaking of that, here's how you can get some professional help with your taxes for free. So VITA, the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program, helps people who earn $60,000 a year or less, as well as those with disabilities or individuals who have a hard time speaking English. You can find a VITA site near you at irs.gov/VITA. And the next program is called TCE. That's Tax Counseling for the Elderly. They focus on helping seniors who are at least 60 years old, and they can offer free assistance with pensions, retirement-related tax issues, so on. And you can learn more about that at aarp.org/taxaid. And then, of course, there's the IRS Free File Program. If you're comfortable filing your own taxes, the IRS Free File Program lets you prepare and e-file your federal taxes online at no cost. That is available for people earning $73,000 or less a year, and you can visit irs.gov/freefile to use that tool. Now, that concludes what we have nationwide, but we do have just a ton of state-specific and local updates today. And based on the feedback I've been getting, I'm going to try something a little different. So usually we just mash up all the state-specific and local updates together. This time, we're going to cover the state-specific stuff. That's going to be stuff that covers the entire state. And then we're going to look at those community resources, and we're going to see if you guys like this format better. So be sure to let me know in the comments. So we're going to start out in New York, because we have some very exciting news for low-income residents in that area. So for years now, the state of New York has been in a legal battle with broadband internet providers because New York wanted to implement a law that would make affordable internet available to low-income households. The law specifically said that there had to be plans available at $15. Well, the fight reached the highest courts, and then the Supreme Court declined to hear the case, so the previous ruling stands. And that means that effective January 15th of this year, the Affordable Broadband Act, or ABA, is now in action in New York. So for New Yorkers, this means that internet service providers with at least 20,000 subscribers are now required to offer low-cost plans for low-income customers. They must provide 25 megabit service for just $15 a month or 200 megabit service for $20 a month. And those prices include taxes and fees. Now, it's important to know that there are some exceptions, right? Smaller ISPs who have less than 20,000 customers don't really have to comply if it's going to create a financial strain for their business. But for the majority of internet service providers in the state, the rules are clear, and if they fail to comply, it could result in fines of up to $1,000 per violation. Some companies like AT&T have decided that this means they need to stop offering internet in New York, which I think is ridiculous. But anyway, AT&T specifically dropped their 5G home internet plan in New York. They said that existing users would still be able to continue using their internet plans until March 1st, and that AT&T won't charge them for that time so that they can find a different internet provider. Overall, though, it looks like this is going to be a big win for New York residents who have been waiting for more affordable internet options. So if you qualify for this program, make sure that you check with your internet provider and explore your options, because you might be able to save a bundle through that. And of course, remember, even if you live in different states, you may be able to find affordable low-income internet plans in your area on our website at lowincomerelief.com/internet. Now in Delaware, the state is gearing up to reopen their public housing waitlists in February. This opportunity doesn't come along very often. These waitlists are often closed for a long period of time. But starting February 3rd, low-income families, seniors, and individuals with disabilities can apply for housing choice vouchers and low-income public housing. These programs provide rental assistance to low-income families, seniors, and individuals with disabilities. When the applications open, you'll be able to apply at delaware.affordablehousing.com. Now, if you applied previously and you were on the wait list, you should have received a letter informing you that you were required to update your information by December 31st. Only 13% of the people who were already on the wait list responded to that letter, and that means that most people missed the deadline. If you're one of those people who missed that deadline, please don't worry. You can appeal to reinstate your placement by visiting the website or by calling 855-301-5920. But you need to do that soon, or you're not going to be on the wait list anymore, and you're going to have to reapply. Now, I don't want you guys to ever miss your chance to get on those wait lists for housing, which is why we always go over those lists here in these videos when I see those announcements. But we also have other news today. So in Iowa, thousands of Iowa mothers will soon be eligible to receive extended postpartum Medicaid coverage. Governor Kim Reynolds announced that the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, that's the federal department that oversees Medicaid, has approved the state's extension, which will increase coverage from 60 days postpartum to 12 months. This new coverage will apply to families who earn 215% of the federal poverty level or less. And the new law was all supposed to take effect this month, but it was delayed because they were going back and forth with the federal government. Now they're just waiting for some final details to come in, and then that should get going. In Oregon, Medicaid is expanding to cover 4,000 young adults who have special needs. Those special needs may include things like intellectual, physical, or mental disabilities, as well as certain qualifying conditions like asthma or diabetes. If a young adult is eligible, this program will raise the income limit to 205% of the federal poverty level, which means that they could be eligible even if they wouldn't normally qualify due to income. The changes that they made also expanded benefits to include more dental and vision services for all young adults on Medicaid in the state. This expansion will cover things like crowns, braces, and even contact lenses. Out in Pennsylvania, Pennsylvania's Department of Revenue is now accepting applications for the Property Tax and Rent Rebate Program. This offers tax relief for low-income seniors and people with disabilities. You can receive up to $1,000 from this program. Now, to be eligible, you have to be over age 65, or a widow or widower that is over age 50, or certain people with disabilities who are age 18 and up, and you have to earn, no more than $46,520 a year. Applications for that are available online at pa.gov/PTRR. You've probably noticed I'm struggling a little bit. I am getting a migraine while we are recording. So I'm not sure how many more of these updates I'm going to be able to get through, but I'll see what I can do. And then if we have to cut short, just know that you can find all of this information on our website as well at lowincomerelief.com/news. So in Texas, the Texas Health and Human Services Commission recently discovered that 7 employees improperly accessed and in some cases stole information from the accounts of people who received Medicaid food stamps and other forms of public assistance. This really makes me very angry. The breach impacted over 61,000 Texans, including low-income families, people with disabilities, children, and so on. And they apparently found this while they were investigating, fraud within the program. And I think a lot of us expected the fraud to be happening outside the government office that was in charge. But it looks like some of it was coming from within. So if you were affected, you will receive a letter by first-class mail very soon. The state is also offering 2 years of free credit monitoring to protect your financial security. If you have questions or concerns, you can call 866-362-1773 and reference, this is a big reference number, B138648 for assistance. In Georgia, the state's Medicaid program called Georgia Pathways may be expanding. They want the program to cover low-income parents and guardians of children who are age 6 and under. To qualify, the family must have an income that is at or below 100% of the federal poverty level. The state government has reached out to the federal government for permission to complete this expansion, so we'll see what happens with that. And now we're going to look into the more community-based things that we found, right? So the Nashville Electric Service in Tennessee is accepting applications for the Home Uplift program. This program provides essential home upgrades that can make your home more energy efficient. If you're interested, you can apply by filling out the form at nespower.com. In Columbia, Missouri, the Columbia Parks and Recreation Department is offering free True False Film Fest tickets to low-income households. You need to have an income that is 185% or less of the federal poverty level in order to qualify. If you're interested, you can register for your free pass online or by calling the Parks and Rec Department at 573-874-7460. The passes are only available until the end of January, though. In Kansas, Douglas County is offering a 1-year property tax rebate program for low-income seniors and disabled veterans. Eligible households can receive up to $300 or the county portion of their property tax, whichever is less. You may be eligible if you are at least 65 years old or a disabled veteran. You must meet HUD income limits and live in a home that you own, and your home cannot be valued at more than $350,000 to qualify. Applications are available at dgcoks.gov/tax rebate and must be submitted with proof of income and required documents by April 15th. The rebates will be mailed out in July. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it there because I am having a really hard time. Please don't forget to check out our other videos for more ways to save money and get free stuff. I really, really appreciate you. And